The Milky Way had become humanity's playground, a realm of stars where borders blurred and empires rose and fell. Yet, despite their dominance, humanity's curiosity began to stagnate. For centuries, the intergalactic void, the boundless dark between galaxies, had loomed like an unreachable horizon, silent and enigmatic. Until now, the Stellar Arc project was humanity's boldest venture, an intergalactic expedition into the void. Critics labeled it folly, but its champions called it destiny. At the heart of this mission was the EOS, a ship so advanced it was described as humanity's crowning technological achievement. Armed with quantum drives capable of crossing the void and shields designed to endure the harshest cosmic conditions, the EOS represented the hope of an entire species. Commander Ilara Vance sat in the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the shimmering blue orb of Earth. It was beautiful, fragile, and distant, just like her own memories of home. Vance wasn't one to wax poetic. She was a soldier, a leader forged in the crucible of galactic conflict. Yet even she couldn't suppress the mix of awe and dread that churned in her gut. This mission, she thought, isn't just a leap into the unknown. It's a declaration to the universe. Humanity will not be caged by borders, even cosmic ones. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. She turned to see Lieutenant Rasha Kovac entering the deck. Kovac, her second-in-command, had the unshakable confidence of someone who thrived under pressure. "All systems checked in green," Commander Kovac reported. The crews assembled in the briefing hall. "They're waiting for your final words before launch." Vance nodded, standing tall. Her steps echoed in the quiet halls as they made their way to the heart of the ship. The briefing hall was packed. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, and explorers sat shoulder to shoulder. Each bore their own reasons for boarding the EOS: glory, discovery, duty, or escape. "Ladies and gentlemen," Vance began, her voice steady but charged with intensity, "in moments, we'll make history. We'll cross the threshold into the void, a place no living being has ever ventured. We're carrying not just the hopes of Earth, but the weight of every question humanity has ever asked about what lies beyond." The room was silent, each crew member hanging on her every word. "This mission will test us in ways we can't yet imagine. But we're here because we believe in something greater. We believe in humanity's right to seek, to explore, to learn. Whatever we find out there, be it wonder or danger, we face it together. Because we're more than a crew, we're the vanguard of humanity's future." As she concluded, a ripple of applause filled the room, followed by the sharp chime of the ship's AI, signaling launch readiness. Vance turned to Kovac. "Take us out." The EOS surged forward, its quantum drive humming with untamed energy. The stars blurred, then vanished, leaving only darkness. Humanity had taken its first step into the ultimate unknown. The void was unlike anything the crew of the EOS had ever encountered. The stars, once steady companions, faded into scattered pinpricks. The vast emptiness stretched endlessly in every direction, a silent reminder of just how small they were. For weeks, the crew adjusted to the rhythm of life aboard the ship. The EOS was a marvel of engineering, equipped with artificial gravity, modular living quarters, and a state-of-the-art observation dome that offered a breathtaking view of the void. Despite these comforts, the psychological toll of isolation soon began to surface. Lieutenant Rasha Kovac found Commander Ilara Vance in the observation dome late one night. She stood with her arms crossed, staring at the black expanse beyond the reinforced glass. "You're up late," Kovac said, his voice breaking the silence. Vance turned, her expression unreadable. "So are you." Kovac stepped closer, his eyes briefly scanning the emptiness outside. "It's unsettling, isn't it? We've always had stars to guide us. Out here, it's just nothing." Vance nodded. "It's what we signed up for. But I'll admit, the silence is louder than I expected." Their conversation was interrupted by the ship's AI, Athena, her voice smooth and precise. "Commander, Lieutenant, I'm detecting an anomaly." Vance's demeanor shifted instantly. What kind of anomaly? Athena's response was unsettling. An energy fluctuation approximately 1.2 light-years ahead. The pattern is non-random and highly structured. It may be artificial in origin. Kovac raised an eyebrow. "Artificial? Out here?" "Take us closer," Vance ordered, her curiosity outweighing her caution. The journey to the anomaly took days, during which the crew's tension grew palpable. The emptiness of the void seemed to press in on them, amplifying every creak of the ship and every whispered doubt. Some began reporting vivid dreams of distant lights or voices calling their names. When the EOs finally arrived, the source of the anomaly became clear. Floating in the void was a massive structure, its surface gleaming faintly in the ship's lights. It was like nothing they had ever seen, a colossal, angular formation of dark, metallic material, its edges sharp and precise. "Scan it," Vance commanded, her voice steady despite the awe she felt. Athena's scans revealed staggering details. The structure is over 200 kilometers in diameter. Its composition suggests materials beyond our current understanding. There are faint energy readings, but no signs of life. Kovac stared at the display. "What is it doing out here?" "Waiting," Vance replied softly, more to herself than anyone else. As the EOs maneuvered closer, the ship's systems flickered. Lights dimmed and a low hum reverberated through the corridors. Athena's voice cut through the chaos, strained for the first time. "Commander, the structure is transmitting a signal directly to us." On the bridge, the crew watched as their monitors displayed a single line of text, written in no-known language. Yet, somehow, they all understood its meaning. "Why have you come?" The silence that followed was deafening. Humanity had reached the void, but it seemed the void had been waiting for them. The message lingered on the bridge's main screen, an unspoken challenge to the crew of the EOs. "Why have you come?" Commander Ilara Vance studied the words, her mind racing. The void was no longer a vast emptiness, it was aware, and whatever intelligence had crafted the message was waiting for an answer. "Options?" she asked, her voice measured but carrying the weight of the moment. Lieutenant Rasha Kovac frowned. "We could transmit a reply. But if this thing has the power to send us a message like that, it's way ahead of us. Any response might be taken the wrong way." Athena, the ship's AI, chimed in. "The transmission's encoding is unlike any known communication protocol, but its structure indicates logic. It may be receptive to a mathematical response." "Mathematics," Vance murmured. "The universal language." Dr. Lane Patel, the mission's lead scientist, stepped forward. "I can craft a response. Something simple, prime numbers, geometric sequences. It'll show we're intelligent, not hostile." Vance nodded. "Do it, and be ready for anything." Patel and her team worked feverishly, crafting a series of signals meant to convey humanity's peaceful intent. The bridge crew waited in tense silence as the transmission was sent. Seconds stretched into minutes, then hours. The structure loomed outside, a silent sentinel in the void. Some of the crew began to feel its presence, as though it was watching them, not with malice, but with an ancient, indifferent curiosity. Finally, the ship's systems hummed to life. Athena's voice broke the quiet. "Incoming response. Translation in progress." The main screen flickered, displaying a new message. "Prove your purpose." Before anyone could react, the structure pulsed with energy. Beams of light lanced out, scanning the EOs in intricate patterns. Then, a new phenomenon emerged. A shimmering portal appeared in the center of the artifact, its swirling light both beautiful and ominous. "What is that?" Kovac asked, his voice hushed. Athena replied, "The portal appears to be a gateway. Scans suggest it's stable, but its destination is unknown." Vance straightened, her decision made. "We've come this far. Prepare a reconnaissance team." Kovac hesitated. "Commander, we don't know what's on the other side. It could be a trap. Or it could be the reason we're here," Vance countered. "We didn't cross the void to turn back at the first challenge." Within an hour, a small team was assembled. Armed with advanced suits and equipment, they approached the portal. As they stepped through, the swirling light enveloped them, and the bridge crew held their breath. On the other side, the team found themselves in a vast chamber, its walls covered in alien glyphs glowing faintly. The air was breathable, but heavy with an unshakable sense of age and abandonment. Patel activated her scanner. These glyphs, they're warnings. Something catastrophic happened here. Before she could elaborate, a deep, resonant voice echoed in the chamber, not through their ears, but directly in their minds. "You are not the first. You may not be the last. Will you succeed where others have failed?" The team froze, the weight of those words sinking in. Whatever had created the structure had left a legacy of trials, and humanity was now a part of it. The chamber pulsed faintly, its glowing glyphs casting eerie shadows on the reconnaissance team. The voice that resonated within their minds lingered like a phantom, as though the chamber itself were alive and questioning their presence. Commander Vance's voice crackled over the comms. "Team, report. What's happening in there?" Dr. Patel took a steadying breath before responding. "We're in some sort of ancient structure. The walls are inscribed with glyphs, warnings, I think, and something, or someone, is communicating with us telepathically. It asked if we'll succeed where others have failed." "Failed at what?" Vance pressed. Before Patel could reply, the glyphs shifted. Lines of light flowed across the walls, rearranging themselves into a massive, intricate pattern that glowed with renewed intensity. The chamber vibrated as the deep voice spoke again. "To proceed, you must prove your resilience, unity, and purpose. The trial of endurance awaits. Step forward or retreat to your fragile existence." The team exchanged uneasy glances. Kovac's voice cut in over the comms. "This sounds like a trap, Commander. We should pull them out." "No," Vance said firmly. "This is why we came. If this is some kind of test, it might be our only chance to understand what's out here. Proceed, but with caution." The team moved deeper into the chamber, their steps echoing in the vast emptiness. At the chamber center, an enormous obelisk rose from the floor. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, and tendrils of energy arsed across its surface. Patel approached cautiously, her scanner buzzing with data. "This obelisk is emitting energy signatures off the scale. I think it's reacting to us." As if in response, the obelisk flared to life. Tendrils of energy lashed out, encircling each team member. Their suits hummed with protective energy, but no harm came to them. Instead, they felt the voice return, more focused and personal this time. Endurance is not mere survival. It is the strength to carry the burden of knowledge. The trial begins now. The chamber dissolved into light, and the team found themselves in separate, surreal landscapes. Patel stood in a barren desert under a burning sun, her every step an effort against the unrelenting heat. Another team member, Specialist Reyes, was plunged into an icy wasteland where his breaths froze in midair. Each faced an environment designed to test their limits. Through their shared comms, Patel's voice came through, strained but determined. This is a simulation. It's testing us individually, pushing us to the edge. But I think it's more than physical, it's testing our resolve." On the bridge, Vance and Kovac watched helplessly as the vitals of the reconnaissance team fluctuated. Athena reported, "Their neural patterns indicate extreme stress, but no physical harm. This is a trial of willpower." Inside the simulation, Patel pressed on, her legs trembling as the heat pressed down on her. She thought of Earth, of her family, of the mission's purpose. "We're here to prove humanity's worth," she whispered. "We don't break." One by one, the team overcame their trials, each drawing on deeply personal reserves of strength. As they reached their breaking points, the simulations ended and the team reappeared in the chamber, gasping for air but alive. The voice returned, calmer this time. You have endured the first trial. Few have. Proceed to the next, if your purpose remains true. The obelisk dimmed, and a new passageway opened in the chamber, revealing a path shrouded in shimmering light. The team regrouped, their exhaustion evident but their resolve unshaken. Commander, Patel said through the comms, we're moving forward. Vance's voice carried a mixture of pride and trepidation. Understood. Keep going. Humanity's counting on you. The team stepped into the light, knowing there was no turning back. The shimmering passage led the team into a cavernous expanse that defied explanation. It was as though they'd stepped into a starfield, yet they stood on solid ground. Pinpoints of light floated in the air, forming constellations that shifted with every step. The walls, if they existed, were obscured by a cosmic haze that seemed to pulse with its own rhythm. Is this space? Specialist Reyes whispered, his voice tinged with awe. No, Dr. Patel replied, her scanner unable to produce coherent data. It's something else. A construct? Maybe. A representation of knowledge. As the team moved further, the lights coalesced into intricate patterns, forming holographic projections. Strange, alien figures appeared, beings of light and shadow, their movements fluid and deliberate. The projections played out scenes of advanced civilizations building colossal structures, wielding immense power, and gazing into the void. Commander, Patel spoke over the comms, we're seeing history. I think this place is a repository of knowledge. It's showing us the civilizations that came before. On the EOs, Commander Vance leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the team's helmet feeds. What happened to them? The answer came unbidden. The voice returned, resonating deeply in their minds. They sought what lies beyond. They reached too far, too fast, and the void consumed them. The holograms shifted, now depicting chaos and ruin. Massive ships torn apart by unseen forces, planets consumed by darkness, and civilizations crumbling under the weight of their ambition. The message was clear. The void was not just empty, it was alive, and it was dangerous. Kovac's voice crackled over the comms. This feels like a warning, Commander. Maybe we shouldn't be here. Vance's jaw tightened. Warnings are lessons. Keep going. The lights dimmed, and the projections faded. A single path of light appeared before the team, leading to a towering crystalline structure at the far end of the chamber. It pulsed gently, as if beckoning them forward. The team approached cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the silent expanse. As they neared the crystal, it flared with brilliant light, and a figure emerged, a humanoid silhouette composed entirely of glowing fractals. The figure spoke, its voice a harmony of countless tones. You have endured the trial of endurance. Now you must face the trial of unity. For those who venture into the void must not only be strong but united in purpose. Before anyone could respond, beams of light shot out from the crystal, connecting to each member of the team. Instantly, they felt a surge of emotion, fear, hope, doubt, determination, not their own but one another's. Their thoughts began to overlap, and for the first time, they truly understood the weight of their shared mission. We're linked, Patel whispered. It's testing how well we work together, not just physically, but emotionally. The figure continued, its tone neither harsh nor kind. Prove your unity or be undone by the fractures within. The chamber shifted again, and the team found themselves in a labyrinth of shifting walls and mirrored corridors. They could no longer see each other, but they could feel each other's presence through the link. Stay calm. Vance's voice cut through their thoughts. We work as one. Follow the connection. Through trust and shared determination, they navigated the maze, overcoming traps and illusions that sought to divide them. Each step forward strengthened their bond, proving their unity. As they emerged from the labyrinth, the crystalline figure returned, glowing brighter than before. You are stronger together. Few have proven this truth. Proceed to the final trial. A new passage opened, leading into an even deeper unknown. The team, though shaken, pressed on, their unity unbroken. The void demanded more, and they would not falter. The passage led the team into a chamber unlike anything they had encountered. It was vast, its boundaries indiscernible, and at its center hovered a massive, swirling vortex of light and shadow. Its sheer presence sent shivers down their spines, as if the void itself was gazing back at them. Before they could process the sight, the crystalline figure reappeared, standing between them and the vortex. Its voice resonated with gravity. You have endured. You have proven your unity. Now you must face the trial of purpose. For what lies beyond the void does not bow to strength or cohesion, but to intent. Speak your purpose and be judged. Commander Ilara Vance stepped forward, her voice steady despite the enormity of the moment. We are here to explore, to learn, and to ensure humanity's survival. Our purpose is to expand the horizons of knowledge, not just for ourselves, but for all who come after. The figure's fractal form shimmered, its voice neither approving nor condemning. Many have spoken such words. Few have understood their weight. Purpose must be more than ambition. It must endure beyond fear, beyond loss, beyond the self. Step forward, each of you, and face the void. One by one, beams of light emerged from the vortex, enveloping each member of the team. As the light engulfed them, they were pulled into individual visions, deeply personal and hauntingly real. Dr. Lim Patel found herself on Earth, standing in the ruins of a once thriving city. The air was thick with ash, and the silence was deafening. Around her were remnants of humanity's failures, broken machinery, abandoned shelters, and faded records of scientific endeavors. You thought knowledge alone could save them, a voice whispered. Was it enough? Tears welled in Patel's eyes as she clenched her fists. Knowledge is a tool, but it's nothing without purpose. I'll not let our curiosity become our downfall. I'll use it to protect, to build, to endure. Specialist Reyes was plunged into a battlefield, surrounded by chaos and the cries of the wounded. He saw comrades fall and heard voices demanding answers. You sought glory, the voice accused. Will you fight for others when there is no glory to gain? Reyes dropped his weapon, looking at the carnage around him. Glory is nothing. Protecting others, even when it costs everything, that's why I fight. Each team member faced their own crucible, their deepest fears and doubts laid bare. Yet in the end, they all emerged, their spirits battered but unbroken. The vortex's light dimmed, and the crystalline figure's tone shifted, carrying a hint of reverence. You understand. Purpose is not a goal but a compass. It guides, even when all else is lost. Few have reached this point. Fewer still have endured. The final step awaits. The vortex began to transform, its swirling mass coalescing into a massive gateway that pulsed with raw energy. Commander, Patel said, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. This isn't just about exploration anymore. Whatever's on the other side, it's the answer to everything we've faced. Vance nodded, her eyes locked on the gateway. Then we face it together. Humanity's purpose doesn't end here. It begins. The team prepared to step through, their resolve hardened. Beyond the gateway lay the ultimate unknown, and with it, the fate of not just their mission, but the legacy of all who had come before. The gateway loomed before them, a vortex of pure energy, crackling with potential. As the team approached, the very air seemed to hum with anticipation. There were no words, only the weight of the moment, an unspoken understanding that beyond this threshold lay the culmination of their journey, and perhaps the destiny of all humanity. Commander, do you think we're ready for this? Specialist Race's voice echoed through the comms, though there was a quiet awe in it. We've come this far, Vance replied, her voice calm but firm. No matter what's on the other side, we face it together. We've proven our strength, our unity, and our purpose. Now, we'll prove that humanity is worth the knowledge this place holds. The crystalline figure floated before the gateway, its presence now more ethereal than ever, a shimmer of countless fractals. Its voice echoed with finality. The path you have walked is not one of mere exploration. You have sought the unknown, and now it comes for you. What you find beyond this gate is not a prize, it is a burden. Will you bear it? The words hung in the air like a challenge. I've seen enough death, enough loss, to understand that knowledge is a responsibility. Dr. Patel spoke, her voice quiet but resolute. I'll bear it, no matter the cost. Ray's clenched his fists. We all will. Vance gave a nod, signaling the team forward. Together, they crossed the threshold. The moment they stepped through, they were enveloped by an overwhelming presence, an energy far beyond anything they had encountered. It was not light nor darkness, but a living force, ancient and vast, stretching out in all directions. The team was no longer on solid ground. They floated, suspended in an endless expanse of what seemed like pure consciousness. What is this? Kovac's voice trembled as he looked around, trying to process the surreal sight before him. The figure appeared again, but this time it was different. The fractal shape faded, revealing a towering humanoid form made of shifting energy. Its eyes, or what could be described as eyes, radiated a piercing, all-knowing light. Welcome to the Nexus, it said, its voice a symphony of countless voices. The heart of all that is known and unknown. Here lies the collective consciousness of the civilizations that came before you, those who reached beyond their limits, and those who fell. The team floated in awe as the figure's words formed around them like a living entity, wrapping them in the weight of its meaning. You seek to understand, but do you truly know what you seek? Knowledge is not an answer, it is a question. It is power, but power carries consequences. The vision around them shifted. They saw the rise and fall of countless species, each one reaching for the stars, only to be consumed by the very ambition that had driven them. Some civilizations had risen to godlike heights, while others had vanished into the void, leaving only the echoes of their mistakes. Dr. Patel gasped. This is the history of everything. The rise and fall of all who've dared to explore the infinite. The Nexus seemed to respond, the swirling energy deepening. You are not the first to come here seeking the key to existence, but all who have come before you sought to control the knowledge, to harness it for their own purposes. None have succeeded. Vance stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. Then we won't seek to control it. We seek to understand it. To use it to build a future, one where humanity doesn't fall into the same traps. The figure paused, its form flickering, as if considering her words. For a moment, the vastness of the Nexus seemed to press in on them, the weight of countless civilizations' knowledge filling the void. Perhaps, the figure murmured, perhaps you are different, but the trial is not over. To claim this knowledge, you must answer one final question. Are you ready to face the burden that comes with it? The entire team stood still, their minds racing. They had come this far, endured trials that tested them physically, mentally, and emotionally. But this would be the ultimate test. Vance's voice was steady, even as her heart pounded in her chest. We're ready. The Nexus pulsed, its energy swirling around them like a storm. And in that moment, they knew the final trial was about to begin. The Nexus trembled, the energy around them coalescing into a singular blinding beam that shot upward, stretching into infinity. The team's bodies were pressed against an unseen force, their senses overwhelmed by the enormity of the moment. The air was thick with the hum of the universe itself, as if the very fabric of reality had bent to allow them passage. The figure, now a brilliant, shimmering entity of pure light, loomed before them. Its voice resonated deeply, as if it were emanating from the core of existence itself. You stand at the precipice of truth. All that you have endured has brought you here, but the final choice remains. Will you accept the knowledge of the cosmos, the key to untold power, or will you turn away from it? Commander Vance's heart pounded in her chest. She glanced at her team, Paddle, Reyes, Kovac, each of them bearing the same weight of the decision that lay ahead. They had fought for this moment, endured the trials of strength, unity, and purpose, but what lay beyond the gate was more than any of them could truly comprehend. The knowledge, Vance murmured, the weight of her words hanging in the air. What is the cost of accepting it? The Nexus's form flickered, a wave of ancient energy rolling across its surface. The cost is not what you expect. It is not a price in blood or death, but in time, in choices, and in the fate of those you love. To possess this knowledge is to see the universe as it truly is, its beauty and its horrors, its infinite possibilities and its inescapable limitations. You will no longer look at the stars with wonder, you will look at them with understanding. Patel's voice broke through the silence, soft but full of conviction. Understanding is what brought us here. It's what will shape our future. Vance nodded. We're not afraid of the truth. We're ready. The figure's energy rippled as if in approval, but the finality of its words was undeniable. Then you shall bear the burden. Suddenly, the light expanded, filling their vision with overwhelming clarity. Each of them felt a surge of information, a flood of knowledge so vast, so deep, that it seemed to pierce their very souls. Ancient technologies, civilizations that spanned galaxies, the rise and fall of species, every truth, every history of the cosmos poured into their minds. The knowledge was too much, too vast to contain, and yet they did. The weight of the universe, the ultimate responsibility, rested on their shoulders. The team staggered, their bodies trembling, but their minds were clear. They saw the universe in a way they never had before. They saw its patterns, its endless cycles, and the delicate balance between creation and destruction. Ray staggered but stood tall. We understand. It's not about controlling it. It's about guiding it, protecting it. Patel nodded, her voice full of awe and reverence. Humanity has always sought answers, but now we have them. It's our choice what we do with them. Vance took a deep breath, her hands trembling as she reached out, pulling her team together. This is not just about us. It's about all of humanity. The knowledge we have gained must be shared, but with wisdom, with responsibility. The Nexus pulsed one final time, the energy fading as the vast expanse before them began to collapse into a single point. The figure's voice was the last echo they heard before the universe returned to its natural state, the Nexus dissolving into nothingness. You have chosen. The burden will be yours to carry, but it will be humanity's future to shape. The team was back in the chamber, the gateway behind them closed, leaving them alone with the weight of what they had learned. The immense knowledge remained, but now it was theirs to bear, to guide humanity's path forward with the lessons of the past and the wisdom of the cosmos. Commander Vance looked at her team, each one marked by the experience, but stronger for it. They had faced the unknown, survived its trials, and emerged with the power to change the fate of their species. We are humanity's future, Vance said softly, her voice resolute. And we will carry this burden, for them, for the stars, and for all that lies beyond. Together, they stepped forward, knowing that their true journey had only just begun.